G'day legends. In my last video, I said this market would not bottom until we tapped into discount of the range. Now that we're in discount of the range, have we bottomed? Short answer is no. I don't think we have. The good news is I'm pretty sure I know where we're headed. If you stick with me, I will show you my thesis in great detail. So looking here, we can see USDT.D on the daily. All right, now USDT.D has an inverse relationship with crypto. So that means that as money leaves crypto, USDT.D should go up. As money goes into crypto, USDT.D should go down. Now, this is actually much easier to do TA on than any of the crypto charts. This is what I use as my guideline for the whole market. So I want to see what USDT.D is doing. There's a concept known as IRL to ERL. What that essentially means is that the market pushes up, comes back into a fair value gap. And when it does that, you can then look at targeting previous highs of that leg of money. So fair value goes down here. We tap into that. You want to look at taking the new highs. If I go on USDT.D on the weekly, I can see we pushed up, left behind this fair value gap through here. And then the market is pushing towards making new high. That's the implications of them bouncing off of this fair value gap. So I want to look on the lower time frames and see if it's telling me the same thing. Look on the daily chart and I can see a wave structure here. I can see impulsive legs of money. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we don't know where this fifth wave is going to end. But what we can do to look for fifth wave targets is draw our fibs from the bottom of the 1 to the top of the 1, then back to the 2. What this does is gives us targets. Now, if you can see that your 3 wave has respected the 1.618, it's generally a good indication that your 5 is going to run to the 2.618. Now, where does that leave us? Right back at the original target we've got. So now we've got confluence with Elliott wave that this is likely going to be a top. Crypto market is unlikely to bottom until USDT.D tops. All right, now, if I look at this fourth wave here, I want to find further confluence. Now, in each of these impulsive waves, there should be a 5-wave structure. So if I can see, okay, this is likely the fifth wave, pull this from here to here, I can then isolate this fifth wave. So if I jump on my 4-hour chart, I can say, all right, is there 5 waves here? How many legs of money can I see? 1, 2, 3. There's no fifth wave yet. So this is very likely a fourth. And then we need to put in our fifth still. So if I run my fibs from the bottom to the top of the 1, then back to the 2, where does my 2.618 run? Back up here at 6.24%. All right. So we've got full alignment here in terms of Elliott wave count, in terms of ICT, IRL to ERL. There's a whole bunch of confluence telling us that this is very likely going to give us our top for USDT.D, which should give us our bottom for crypto. Now, with that in mind, that tells us that we are likely to see further lows, further downside on crypto. So what can we see? Now, if I take Ethereum and I run my fibs from this first big strong push out of the hole to this low, then back up to these highs, what can I see? I can see once again, this 1.618 has been respected. So that means that the 2 respected over here, right? You can see they bounced off this strongly. So that means that the 2.618 is a very likely target. Now I have a really strong level, a very confluent level to look at in the market for a potential bottom. So if I jump onto my daily, I want to see, are there any points of interest here to tell me, okay, the market is likely to bottom there? Is there any reason for them to bottom from this level specifically? So the first thing I look at is, are there any points of interest? Well, yes, there's a big fat fair value gap here. All right, second fair value gap out of the hole. I always talk about this being a high probability draw on liquidity. Now, I want to mix traditional TA with ICT. I don't just want to look for fair value gaps. What I'm going to do is use fibs. I'm going to use support and resistance, and I'm going to use ICT concepts. So I will drag this all the way across here, and I will see, has the market been respected strongly in the past? At this level, has this level been respected? So if I look here, I can see there's a big strong bounce through this level, strong bounce through this level, strong bounce through this level. Look how much this level was respected through here. Right, now I can see once again, this acted as a very strong support through here. And then when we push to the downside, this same level acted as a resistance. And so you can see in the past, once again, this level acted as a resistance. Now, anytime this level is getting tapped over and over and over again, it shows you it's a very important level in the market. So now we have USDT.D confluence, we have fib targets, we have a daily fair value gap, we have several tests of support and resistances, and we also have a CME gap here. This makes this a very, very strong level on Ethereum and a very likely level to hold between 28 and 2900. Now, it's important not to just rush into the market as soon as we get into this level and buy. You need to make sure that you're going to see a market structure shift. You're going to see strong volume. You're going to see a proper reversal confirmation once we get to this 2.618. But by every count I can see here, right, with all the confluence in the world, this looks like a very, very strong level on Ethereum. So I'll definitely be looking at this one for confirmation, right? And you should be able to get a pretty substantial rally on this. At the very minimum, even if this market has topped, I would expect to see ETH get a 50% run from here, which should be very, very nice for altcoins. Now, looking at BTC, I mean, same target as last time, yeah? We're looking at, if I run my fibs from the top to the bottom, and then to this pullback, 92K. 92K. Now, if you have a look, what's the size of the sell-off on BTC? 9% downside for BTC. So Ethereum should have a little bit more because Ethereum gets hit harder on the sell-offs. 14% on Ethereum. I mean, that makes perfect sense, yeah? So we've got USDT.D confluence, BTC confluence, Fib confluence, support and resistance level, CME gap. There is 1,000,001 things that saying that this is a very high probability level for the market. Like I said, guys, it's important to make sure that you're looking for volume, a market structure shift, and a whole bunch of different things for confirmation through here. You do need to see a change in structure. If you get USDT.D confluence, there are bonus points, obviously, for taking this. If you guys want to trade this with myself and the team, I do tend to do these overviews every day or two, right? When there's something important happening in the market, I'll drop a Discord link below. Take care, guys, and good luck. I think we're getting very, very close.